Hello there, it's Chris Coney from Upright Solutions again, and in this video I'm going to talk about improving the profits you generate from the internet. Now this is actually one of the time-tested fundamentals of business, which also applies to the internet, and you'll find that throughout a lot of internet marketing techniques. It's just age-old techniques that have been updated and reapplied to the internet. So in any of our internet marketing endeavors, we always invest a bit of money, right? So we have costs involved. And for those costs, we generate some kind of revenue. And Business 101, the difference, once we've taken the revenue, reduced and took away the costs, that leaves us with our margin, right? So if in this instance we brought in £100 worth of revenue and we had £50 worth of costs to acquire that business, leaves us with a margin of £50, right? Now, one thing we can do to increase the profit is obviously to bump up the revenue, right? So if we have some certain fixed costs and we bump the revenue up from 100 to 150 pounds, then we've increased the revenue by 50%. That actually has a 100%, it has a doubling effect on the profit, right? By increasing revenue 50%, we've gone up to 100% worth of margin increase. We can also do it the other way around, where we just leave the revenue as it is and we focus on reducing costs. So say we have our costs from £50 to £25. So then that adds £25 to the profit we make. So we've gone up from the £50 profit we made in the first example to 75. So we've cut our cost by 50%, which in turn has put up our margin by 50%, right? So that's a good thing. Now, the really interesting thing is if you combine the two, if we put our revenue up and we do reduce our costs at the same time, the margin, it obviously increases exponentially. So if we put our revenue up by 50%, so from 100 to 150 pounds, and we put our costs down from 50 to 25 pounds, then we have the combined effect of that. So we have a 150% increase in our margin for a 50% increase in sales and a 50% reduction in costs. So the question is how? How do we do that? There's also ways we can do it in mainstream business, but in terms of internet marketing, how do you increase your revenue? Well, one of the best ways to do it is to increase traffic to your website through good SEO, good pay-per-click marketing, running ads on social media sites and things like that. That's one way to do it. Increasing the traffic will inevitably increase the results from how many sales you're getting. You can increase your traffic quality by better targeting, better segmentation and that kind of thing. You can also improve your conversion rate, which is a great one, because then you're getting more business out of the same investment. So if you're smarter about your search engine marketing, if you improve your site layout or how fast it loads, that'll all impact your conversion rate. If you improve the on-site search, that's a search on your actual website to search within it, write some better copy to make it more persuasive, add more content to the website, put videos in there, all that kind of stuff is fairly easy to do and it's free to do. And it has an impact on your conversion rate, so you'll actually be getting more revenue out of the same amount of traffic. So, and also, how do we use the internet to reduce the costs? Well, again, conversion rate comes into it. If you're doing pay-per-click marketing, then lowering the cost you pay per click will lower your costs overall. I've put there lower CPA, which is cost per acquisition. We need to know, how much are we spending before we actually get a customer. And if we can reduce that, then again, we're spending less to get the same amount of business. And getting a better website, I've talked about those things just on a previous slide. A better looking site, a site that's more easier to navigate. It'll mean that your website's conversion rate goes up and the cost to acquire a customer or a conversion is lower. Use a better agency, right? You might choose an agency that has higher fees and might charge more per hour, say, but if they're spending less of their hours because they use smarter techniques, then overall you'll be spending less, right? Use strategic partnerships, right? Leverage other sites, get links, get banners on their sites, do some sort of contra deal. So if you're selling to a similar market but don't compete, then that's a great source for you. Also, build a social media community. Most social media communities can be built. The tools are free, and then if you want to buy the advertising on top of that, you can do. But pretty much building social media networks is free. So that's the concept for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until next time, you take care.